TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donation. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Greece and Israel are significantly bolstering bilateral relations in numerous sectors, including in the fields of energy and maritime security. Turkey has managed to secure the survival of the Libyan Government of National Accord in Tripoli, as the eastern-based Libyan National Army is seeking alternative routes. The Israeli Navy successfully thwarted a naval smuggling attempt of weapons into the Gaza Strip from the coast of the northern Sinai Peninsula. The Israeli public must adhere to government-enacted health regulations or face firm measures to limit an alarming upward trend of the corona contagion's morbidity rate. Israeli Premier Benjamin Netanyahu voiced this warning today despite the fact that Israel was ranked by The Economist Weekly as the 7th most successful country to combat the spread of the disease. Speaking at the meeting of Jerusalem's Special Corona Cabinet, Netanyahu further officially announced that Israel had signed an agreement with the American Moderna biotech company, which is said to be in advanced stages of developing a vaccine to the coronavirus.
מדינת ישראל חתמה עם חברת מודרנה על הסדר שיאפשר לנו לקנות חיסונים. החברה מתקדמת בפיתוח, הם טוענים שהם יכולים להגיע לזה באמצע השנה הבאה. אנחנו מקווים שהם יצליחו, אין לנו ביטחון בכך, אבל אנחנו מעוניינים לקבל את החיסונים הללו. אם יפותחו, לכשיפותחו, זה שם אותנו במקום מאוד טוב בעולם. אנחנו כמובן ממשיכים במאמצים שלנו פה במדינת ישראל, במכון הביולוגי, ואנחנו מקווים גם שם להגיע לתוצאות.
Following up on Netanyahu's statement, Israeli Health Minister Yuli Edelstein elaborated on the reason that led to signing a high-risk agreement with Moderna.
אכן, בתקופה האחרונה במשרד מתקיימים דיונים אינטנסיביים ואנחנו עוקבים אחרי פיתוחים שונים ברחבי העולם, פרסומים של החברות השונות על ההתקדמות שלהן בנושא החיסון האפשרי לקורונה. יש אכן פעילות רבה בתחום הזה. מכל הבדיקות שלנו עולה שחברת מודרנה, שמקורה בארצות הברית, כנראה נמצאת בשלבים מתקדמים יותר בפיתוח החיסון. כרגע הם לקראת מה שנקרא שלב שלישי, כבר ניסויים מעשיים, ואכן לפי התחזיות שלהם ושל מומחים יכול להיות בעוד פרק זמן של בין חצי שנה לשנה הם כבר יהיו ערוכים לייצור לאחר הניסויים.
Despite Jerusalem's hope for Moderna's success, the top Israeli health official emphasized that Jerusalem continues to seek alternative options as it is not willing to put all of its eggs in one basket. In other news, Greece and Israel are significantly bolstering bilateral relations in numerous sectors, including in the fields of energy and maritime security. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis concluded a state visit to Israel yesterday, prior to which he emphasized especially the tremendous importance to the trilateral relationship between the Hellenic Republic, Cyprus and the Jewish state, which are closely cooperating on the emblematic project of the Eastern Mediterranean pipeline, alongside the United States and others, with the aim of connecting Israel's vast offshore gas reservoirs to the continent of Europe.
You pointed out the tremendous importance of our trilateral relationship, Israel, Greece, Cyprus. This is a format that, with the addition of the United States in the 3+1 format, has a vision of a peaceful Eastern Mediterranean. But of course, it was in this context that the vision for the EastMed pipeline was born. We're very, very happy to have you in Athens on January 2nd, when we actually signed the pipeline, and looking forward also bringing Italy on board and starting in earnest to work on this emblematic project, which is a project of great interest for Europe as a whole, because we're looking for alternative sources of natural gas.
Premier Mitsotakis also seized the opportunity to highlight the dangers posed to the EastMed project by Turkey, which signed a maritime boundary treaty with Libya in complete disregard of Cypriot and Greek legal claims over the disputed offshore territory under the law of the sea, a body of international law governing the rights and duties of states in maritime environments.
Of course, we also had a chance to talk about the broader region. I set out what I consider our view to be regarding Turkey's aggressive behavior in the Eastern Mediterranean. We consider this activity to be a threat to regional peace and stability, raised with the Prime Minister recent incidents of illegal and provocative Turkish behavior at our sea, air and land borders, and of course spoke a lot about the destabilizing effect that Turkey has played vis-à-vis its relationship with Libya and what we consider to be a completely null and void agreement regarding the delimitation of maritime zones between those two countries.
In response to the apparent Turkish efforts to claim exclusive control over gas exploration zones in the eastern Mediterranean, Greece has expanded its own efforts to bolster its legal position by signing a number of treaties with global and regional actors. Among the referred to treaties, as Premier Mitsotakis mentioned, was a bilateral agreement for the delimitation of maritime zones in the Mediterranean between Greece and Italy that was officially ratified in Athens on the 9th of June.
Η οριοθέτηση θαλασσίων ζωνών επιτυγχάνεται σύμφωνα με το διεθνές δίκαιο με έγκυρες συμφωνίες. Όχι με ανυπόστατες συμφωνίες, όπως η Συμφωνία Τουρκίας-Σαράτζ.
Details of the accord, which effectively extend the 1977 agreement between the two states on continental shelves in the Ionian Sea, were not immediately made available. Nevertheless, Turkey was quick to respond by sending an official high-level delegation to Libya, where Ankara has made significant investments for the purpose of securing the survival of its partner, the Western-based Libyan government of national accord.
Libya'ya olan desteğimizi bir kere daha güçlü bir şekilde vurgulamak için bu ziyareti gerçekleştirdik. Ayrıca bu ziyarette bundan sonra işbirliğimizi her alanda nasıl geliştirebiliriz? Bunları detaylarıyla görüştük. Ve sahada atılacak adımlar, aynı şekilde siyasi ilişkiler, biliyorsunuz Libya ile imzaladığımız mutabakat zaptı var. Deniz yetki alanlarının sınırlandırılması ile ilgili, enerji ile ilgili yine bu Akdeniz'de yapacağımız işbirliği ve atacağımız adımlar dahil bunların hepsini konuştuk.
In light of presiding instability in Libya as it faces a civil war between the Tripoli-based Government of National Accord, or GNA, and the eastern-based Libyan National Army, or LNA, Turkish Energy and Natural Resources Minister Fatih Dönmez announced late last month that his country's exploration activities in the Mediterranean will commence only within 3 to 4 months. Nevertheless, over the past several weeks, Ankara managed to alter Libya's balance of power in favor of the GNA after it transferred significant amounts of sophisticated weaponry and mercenaries to Tripoli, forcing its eastern-based foes, which are backed by Russia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, among others, to retreat. Consequently, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi announced a new Cairo-led approach to Libya, which aims to bring about national unity under UN supervision.
كما تهدف المبادرة إلى ضمان تمثيل عادل لكافة أقاليم ليبيا الثلاث في مجلس رئاسي ينتخبه الشعب تحت إشراف الأمم المتحدة لإدارة الحكم في ليبيا للمرة الأولى من تاريخ البلاد، ومن ثم الانطلاق نحو توحيد المؤسسات الليبية وتنظيمها بما يمكنها من أداء أدوارها ويضمن التوزيع العادل والشفاف للموارد الليبية على كافة المواطنين، ويحول دون استحواذ أي من الجماعات المتطرفة أو الميليشيات على مقدرات الدولة، إلى جانب اعتماد إعلان دستوري ينظم مقتضيات المرحلة المقبلة واستحقاقاتها سياسيا وانتخابيا.
Now in other news, it has been cleared for publication that a few weeks ago, the Israeli Navy successfully thwarted a naval smuggling attempt of weapons into the Gaza Strip from the coast of the northern Sinai Peninsula.
במהלך השבועות האחרונים סיכלו לוחמי פלגה 916 ויחידת סנפיר הברחה מצפון רצועת סיני אל תוך שטח רצועת עזה. בקריות השליטה הימית הכווינו את לוחמי הזירה אל עבר כלי השיט החשוד בהברחה. לאחר מרדף קצר נעצר כלי השיט כשעליו שני פעילי טרור. במהלך חקירת שני פעילי הטרור התגלה כי הם התכוונו להבריח אמצעי לחימה אשר נועדו לשמש את הקומנדו הימי של החמאס. אחד מהם הוא מבריח בכיר אשר עבד עם מספר ארגוני טרור. תפיסתו מהווה הישג מבצעי משמעותי ביותר עבורנו ומכה קשה עבור הקומנדו הימי של החמאס.
The IDF spokesperson's unit informed TV7 that the intelligence and operational activity was conducted following joint operational and intelligence efforts of the Israeli Navy and the Israeli security agency Shin Bet, along with the IDF Intelligence Directorate. It further highlighted that this operation joins a series of thwarting activities intended to prevent the armament plans of the Hamas terror organization in the Gaza Strip, degrade their force generation capabilities, and is part of the ongoing effort to thwart terrorist activity of any kind against Israeli civilians. Thank you for watching us. I would like to update you that because of TV7's broadcast schedule for Midsummer Eve, TV7 Israel News will not broadcast tomorrow evening. Nevertheless, Jerusalem Studio will broadcast this schedule. Furthermore, as part of TV7's Global Prayer Initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to pray for the salvation and peace of Namibia, alongside our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, salvation of Israel, as well as for all those who were impacted by the corona contagion worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan, have an Erev Tov, and wishing you in advance Shabbat Shalom. We will see you again on Monday at the same time.